1974 finals, but didn't win that one. So it's, you know what? I knew that Brennan was going to. I knew it. I knew it. I saw.
Okay. You knew it was coming.
I saw the look on his face.
The devil is always busy, isn't it?
I saw the look on his face and knew it was about to be messy.
Little demon, little baby demon. You heard a baby driver, here go baby demon over there.
I thought I saw you.
Boy, you ain't worth a
I saw you worth the hook. I thought that you was on the baseline.
Dude, I told you in 1974 I was on that team. I got cut in 1971.
Okay, my bad.
There you have it. I knew the whole time I was talking as soon as I saw his face. Oh, that's Brennan Haywood, by the way.
Thank
That's
you. I'll be
Sam
here all
Mitchell.
night.
I'm Kristen Ledlow. We are actually here all night. This is Playoff Central Live presented by AT&T 5G. We're here for all of the post-game press conferences from both the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks as well. But let me start, Coach, which how? How did they do this with Giannis sidelined?
Complete team effort. Look, we talked about this before the game, even though we were hoping and thinking the Hawks could pull this off with the crowd being at home, Trae Young, a Willis Reed moment. Milwaukee was just too good, too deep. And when you look at Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Brook Lopez, people forget those three guys have been all-stars. Chris Middleton, a recent all-star, but Brook Lopez and Drew Holiday. And when you get to this time of the year, your stars show up because that's what you pay those guys for. And today, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday was unbelievable. They put this team on their back, and they spread the ball around just enough to keep Atlanta off balance. But when they needed a basket, when they got out to that big lead and Atlanta kept chipping away, it was either Drew or Chris Middleton with that dagger play or a drive to the basket with a circus shot. So the Milwaukee Bucks have been the best team in the NBA the last 3 years. They've had the best overall record the last 3 years. And finally, the best team in the East is going to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
When I look at this team, I look at what Middleton brought to the table. I also look at what Holiday did as far as with his defense, his passing, and all of that. And at the end of the day, when the chips were on the line in that third quarter, Middleton just gave him life. And he just was hitting shot after shot after shot. And in the fourth quarter, Holiday's like, hey, don't worry about it. It's my time. Then Holiday came in and he had some big moments. And I thought the biggest bucket of the game for me was when Atlanta went on that run, and I think they cut it to around like 6 points. And then Drew Holiday came down with that contested layup, and he scored it in there. That was tough. They had to call a timeout after that. If he didn't score a bucket right there, all the momentum was going Atlanta's way. That crowd was finally starting to wake up. I guess it was a late arriving crowd because they didn't they didn't have that. The crowd didn't really have that.
They didn't.
The crowd didn't have that playoff energy that I've seen in other arenas. That wasn't like the Knicks arena.
The last 5 minutes of that game, that's when the crowd really got into it. If they could have been like that from the jump ball, who knows? But give Milwaukee credit, man. The thing that you have to do on the road team, you got to take the crowd out the game.
Yeah.
And they took the crowd out early, and they just put their foot on the Hawks, and they just stayed on them. They stayed consistent. And you said it. Every time the Hawks got some life, either Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton or Brook Lopez, they kind of snuffed it out. And give the Hawks credit, man. Look, Trae Young, valiant effort.
He wasn't right. Trae wasn't
even close. But you knew he was going to want to play in this game. Atlanta fought hard, young team. They should be back in the future. But, man, Milwaukee is seasoned.
Emerging superstar in this league. And there's not many guys that can do what he does. And what I mean by that is there's some guys that can score, and then there's some guys that can pass. But there aren't many guys that in playoff games they can go like, hey, I'm about to hit you for 40 and I'm going to get 10 assists. Most guys aren't able to diversify the way Trae does. And then he is so small, but yet he gets down the lane, and with that float, it's like he plays big. It's like he's 6'5", even though he's only 6 feet tall. So Trae has announced to the NBA world, hey, I've arrived. I'm not just here getting great games in the regular season. There's maybe 13, 14 games on that night. But in the playoffs, everybody's just watching you, and they watch Trae grow up right before our eyes.
I agree. Everybody kept saying, the comparison with Luka and Trae. Did the Hawks make a mistake? Right. Look at what Luka's doing. Well, look at what Trae's done. If I remember correctly, the Dallas Mavericks went home in the first round. Trae Young took his team to a Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Don't do that.
Well, I'm not comparing, but these two are always going to be compared by where they drafted. But I think it's time now to close that gap.
Yes.
For a long time, everybody had Luka up here, and Trae as one of those guys, just a good player that could get his. You put some talent around Trae, and Trae figured out how to make everyone else better, and not just that, to take his game to a higher level. When you can make your teammates better and you take your game to a higher level, you said it, that's when you become a superstar. And Trae Young proved he was the smallest guy in this series, but he played awfully big throughout the playoffs, and he's announced his arrival. This Hawks team announced their arrival, and I expect them to be in the fight in the Eastern Conference for years to come.
And when you say that Trey has closed the gap between him and Luka, something else that closes that gap, they got Cam Reddish in that deal.
That's
because
right.
they got the 10th pick, which turned into Cam Reddish. And it was a little rough starting out for him his rookie year, but now we're seeing him start to grow into something. What we're hoping is that these last couple of games where we've seen him really step up and play and hit shots the way he did, we're hoping that springboards him and gets his confidence going so that he can be that 3-and-D guy that they drafted him to be. Because if Cam Reddish steps up the way he did in this series, and then they get DeAndre Hunter.
It's going to be a lopsided trade.
And then we get DeAndre Hunter back.
Yep.
But just if Cam Reddish steps up, then no one will say this is, the Hawk. No one will say Dallas got the better of this deal.
No.
Because if Cam Reddish turns into what we know he can be, what his talent level says he can be, and they still have Trey, we're like, wow, these Hawks are really set up to do well.
Right now, I think it's 50-50. When you look at Luka and you look at Trey, you look at the numbers that they both put up, you look at the assists, you look at the shooting, you look at what Trey does and what Luka does, and then the fact that you add in Cam.
Yeah.
Look, it's already Atlanta won that trade. Both of them got significantly better. Both of them got great players, but the Hawks got two.
Yeah.
And Cam Reddish, I coached him at Diesel Station when he was a young kid. He is going to be good. It's unfortunate, to your point. This might have been a different series if Hunter and Cam Reddish would have been healthy throughout the playoffs.
Right.
Without a doubt, a stunning run by the Atlanta Hawks, the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, finishing in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go ahead and listen in to Coach Nate McMillan.
It's just a resilient group. You know, they've been doing this all season long, and, you know, I want to, thank the organization, Tony, Jamie, and Travis for the opportunity to work with this group. They've been a great group all season long. You know, it was a huge challenge for them once, Coach Pierce was let go. And I challenged those guys to be better, to do better, to sacrifice, to commit to each other, and they did. It just shows that when you get a group of guys just working together for the same common goal, they have talent. Every NBA team has talent. You can win games. And what they did this season it wasn't luck, wasn't involved. It was hard work. It was sacrificing. It was committing to each other. It was trusting each other, and the effort was there every single night. And they played themselves into the Eastern Conference Finals, with a chance to go to the finals. But, Milwaukee is a really good team. They're a really good team. I know they was missing Giannis, but that team was on a mission. They've been on a mission for the last couple of years. Every time we tried to make a run tonight, they answered. And, they just, Bud and his crew really just did a solid job in this series. I thank them. I thank them for committing. I thank them for sacrificing. I thank them for trusting and believing. Because none of this would have happened if we didn't do all of those things. And they did. They sacrificed. They committed. They believed. And what we were trying to do here, the changes that we were trying to make, taking that next step, committing to each other, playing the game the right way, playing the game together, and all of those guys did that. We had a ton of injuries this season, and guys like Solomon and Tony Snell, Brandon. They all stepped in when they got their opportunity and made the most of it. And Then you have Clint and Kevin and Bogey. Cam comes back from an injury and gives us a lift. Trey just, I've seen a lot of growth in this team, in Trey leading this team. And as I, told him, this wasn't a fluke. This wasn't luck. He's built for this time of the season, and he did a hell of a job leading his team here. I think I told them that it certainly could be. They've gotten a taste of what it takes to get here. It's hard. It's hard, and they committed to working hard and basically approached it one game at a time. And they beat some really good teams, New York and Philadelphia, to get here. So. This could be the start of something that is consistent. I know the organization, Tony just talked about his commitment to this team and this organization to continue to win. They want to win here. He wants to build a winner, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. That was his message to the team. And, I have a great deal of respect for these guys and their approach to this season, and my coaching staff. It doesn't happen if this coaching staff doesn't do the job that they did for me to take over a team mid-season and for this team to have the turnaround that it did. A lot of things had to fall in place and work for us. And the coaching staff did a great job of helping me adjust and adapt, keeping these guys mentally, physically ready to go. And, we all challenge ourselves and each other to have a successful season. So I want to give, thanks to those guys as well.
Nate, obviously Trey missed the last couple games, came back today. Looked like he was fighting that foot but trying to play through it. What did you see from his performance tonight?
I saw a guy, the message was no regrets. We don't want no regrets after this game tonight. And we leave everything we have out on the floor. And that's what I saw from Trey. The fact that he hasn't done anything on the floor since the injury. This was the first time that he has done anything live on the floor. So he was gassed. He was breathing hard. Cam was the same way. Both of those guys, tonight left everything they had out on the floor. And I thought, as a group, we did. And that was the message. No regrets at the end of this game. Empty your tank. And I thought this group, they did.
You mentioned somebody talking from the locker room about the vision you see for this team going forward, things you guys can do. You obviously still technically have an interim tag on your title. Do you want to be back with this group going forward?
We're gonna talk. Of course, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk with this organization. I just appreciate them giving me the opportunity, and thankful that they had the trust, to put me in charge of running this organization. So we will have a conversation here, I'm sure, pretty soon.
We're taking a look at the Hawks season in review. Again, the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference playoff race, and took it to a Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They were 36-19.
Yeah, I will just leave
The NBA Finals. Here's Coach Mike Budenholzer.
so much respect and congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks, Nate McMillan, the coaching job he did this year, their players. Just a tough series, and so impressed by them and so much respect for them. So feel fortunate to To be moving on, because they're a really, really good team, a really well-coached team by Nate. What a roller coaster of emotions, especially this series, but, the series before and opening with Miami and, how good they are. And so just impressed with the resilience of the group, the character of the group. They have a focus and an edge that's put us in a good place, put us in an opportunity to keep playing. And so you got to deal with all those emotions, all the everything that goes into each round, and this group has been able to do that. It's impressive, but we got more to do. Yeah, he's such a great player, such a great human being. To be around him every day, how he prepares, the voice, the way he communicates, the IQ. He's just, it's special for him to play the way he has, and now for him to be going to the NBA Finals. It means a lot for I think the whole organization, but to have a player like Chris that is one of our leaders, one of our core guys, to step up and take this challenge and rise to it. Just a lot of credit to him, a lot of respect, and I'm fortunate to get to coach him. Yeah, every team's got a different journey. Every team's got to go through different things. Certainly, anytime you lose, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to look. You got to reflect, and try and get better. And so I think, just like every team in the league, when this group hasn't been able to advance, hasn't been able to continue, it's hurt. It's been hard. And the off season, the guys that put the work in, the players that put the work in. And I'm impressed with what they've done, really every year, but coming into this year, but there's still more to be done. Yeah, I think, really players for sure, and I think the whole organization, the front office, coaches, the owners, take a second and enjoy this. This doesn't happen very often. It's special. And then, we've had kind of long extended pauses in between each round, and kind of excited to try it without one. Maybe we can be the team that's in a rhythm and all that, and after game one, I'm sure we'll talk about which was better, rest or rhythm and all that. So, but it's a quick turn, but, we'll be ready.
To the NBA Finals for the first time since 1974. John Collins and Cam Reddish both addressing the media now.
No, yeah, for sure. That has a lot to do with it. The grittiness, the competitiveness that we played with all year, the never die attitude that we've had. I think it speaks a lot, about our team and the way we've been able to handle these playoffs, given, the shortcomings we've all faced this year. So, hats off to all our guys.
Chris? John, do you feel like this is the start of something special here after this kind of run?
Yeah, definitely. I felt that way from, the beginning of the year, honestly, from when we drafted, Kevin, Trey, Cam, and Dre, Bruno, all those guys, I felt it then. So to see it, manifest itself is beautiful. So I'm just hoping we can continue to build.
They just said that you took a liking to you from Coach Day. What's your relationship with Michael and how does he help you?
I mean, now you're absolutely right. I mean, we kind of had a connection when I first met him. Um, I mean, he just told me to just play my game. I ain't had that in a minute, man. So it felt good to just, have some. I feel like that was on my side. Um, and I'm always gonna have his back for sure. But good dude, great relationship.
Jeff?
For both of you, when did you first find out that Trey was going to play? Do you think you would try it all along? And then how quickly, sort of in the game, as you're watching it, did you realize, this guy's just got the ballot, but it's not going to be for Trey?
Yeah, I think I really figured it out as we were putting on our jerseys and just trying to head out onto the court. It's really a game time decision on his part, and as you said, he went out there and competed his ass off. Competed like a true champ, and tried to just lay it out there on the line for his team, and that's all we can respect from him.
Tim?
John, obviously, I guess actually for both of you guys, Chris Middleton obviously has been a key guy for them in this series. What was he able to do in that second half that was able to kind of keep them?
Hey, Jelani, can I get a question in here when you go to the Zoom?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that for us?
Yeah. Chris Middleton has obviously been a key guy for them in this series. Had a big game for, or a big game for, I should say. He was able to get a bunch of shots in the third quarter.
I got you.
What did he do to kind of get going there in the second half?
Yeah, he's just a great player, very skilled player, and once he catches the rhythm, we don't like anybody to catch a rhythm, but everybody in this league is a pro for a reason, and once a guy gets hot, it's just tough to stop. So, as I said, hats off to Chris, who had a great series, and we just got to give him credit.
And I know Cam's answer basically what he said before, but we just were asking, hey, you still got technically an interim title on his resume. Do you expect him to be the coach here next year, or do you think he should?
Yeah, I would expect it to be a major shock if we didn't see Nate back as a coach of the Atlanta Hawks next year. I would definitely be extremely surprised.
What about working under him the past 2 months that you appreciate most?
Honestly, just his honesty with us. He's a real old school type of guy, and I feel like he challenges us on a day-to-day basis, and I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. He's always challenged every single one of us to be two-way players, and I just feel like that's helped all of us grow and develop a playoff mentality.
Chris?
And obviously, you only played 3 games in the playoffs after almost 4 months. But how can you use what you showed in these 3 games to hopefully propel you into the season?
I mean, it was definitely a nice little stepping stone, but that ain't gonna matter next year. So I just gonna go home, get in the gym, and just work. As simple as that.
What do you feel like you needed this offseason?
Everything. I knew you was gonna ask that. Everything.
Jeff?
John, I'm just wondering what your emotions are right now. On one hand, the end of any season is tough, but the flip side is you obviously got a great season and show us for us. I'm just wondering kind of where you're at.
Yeah, it's a feeling I've never really felt before. Obviously feeling like we had a real chance to hold up that Larry O'Brien trophy, coming short, understanding all of the positive things that we've done in this year to help us get to this point, and all of the things that I didn't do or I feel like I could have done harder, or been locked in or more focused on are flooding in my mind as well. So, it's just a rush of a lot of emotions that I don't necessarily understand how to process yet, but I can tell you that I'm proud of just the group and the way we've battled and competed up to this point.
Sarah?
Hey, John. How is it tough? I guess just how tough is it that I know every team is kind of battling injuries right now. Even the Bucks with what's going on with Giannis. But is it just tough for it to kind of end on? Trey didn't fully, maybe wasn't 100%. I know you guys are missing DeAndre for a while. Do you let yourself wonder about that, or do you just kind of try to not think about that?
No, of course, I don't like to see our guys down, but that's sort of the issue or the Achilles heel for I feel like our team and a lot of teams this year is we've never really had a chance to truly have a fully healthy roster with the change in schedule and COVID tests and no practices and a bunch of stuff that we don't necessarily talk about. But we don't like to make excuses, and I felt like that's why we were as competitive as we were, is because we didn't use it as an excuse the entire year. We just competed.
First question from Zoom come from Zach Klein.
John, the future is bright to say the least in this city. The fact that you guys put Hawks basketball back on the map, your feeling towards that and the future of this team, this core.
Yeah, it started with our young core that we were, drafted and stuck together. We have a great relationship, and I felt like what we've been able to do this year, as I said before, in the midst of all the chaos and new obstacles that we had to overcome, is a big stepping stone for us going into the future, and we just got to build on that.
Maria Martin.
John, kind of building off of Zach's question a little bit, what makes you feel like this team is now built for sustainable success?
Well, I feel like it was the one thing that we were missing, and that was playoff experience. We got to taste a little bit of that. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted, but I feel like that was the most important part. I definitely feel like we have the young talent. Dre, myself, Cam, Trey, everybody here. I feel like, the young core is here, the veterans are here, the coaching. We just needed some experience to sort of hang our hat on and understand what it feels like.
Brandon Harper.
Hey, Cam, you had a heck of a game today. 6 threes coming off the bench, which is a record for a Hawks player coming off the bench in the playoffs. A lot of guys in the league, a lot of young guys who you come up with through the AAU circuit give you a lot of respect and they know your game. But for a lot of other people in the league who may not have known what you can do, what do you think you showed them since you've been back?
I don't do it on both sides of the ball. I'm going to get after it defensively, offensively. It don't even matter. I don't really know how else to say it. It's pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. In the most respectful way possible, by the way. I ain't trying to be,
Hello guys, great season first of all. John, for your team was 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. How confident you are about next season that you're gonna put those 2 wins?
Extremely confident. As I said before, we never had our fully healthy squad the entire year. Even up to this point. So, with that in mind, hopefully, everything goes well injury-wise. We can come back fully healthy, and definitely feel like we can make the same attack, make the same push, for sure.
And for you, Cam, Coach McMillan said that he sees a lot of Paul George on you. What kind of reward for this?
Say it again one more time, the question.
Yeah, Coach McMillan said before that he sees a lot of Paul George in your game. What kind of reward for you?
He said what kind of reward?
He said he sees a lot of Paul George in your game. What does that mean to you? Like Coach said.
That's an honor. Y'all seen PG playing. It's a complete honor. Coach, thank you if you're watching. But man, I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to, go home, get to the nitty gritty, and just come back as Cam Reddish. So y'all can call me Cam Reddish.
I like that too.
The final question will come from Deshaun Tate.
Two-part question. I guess the first part for you guys is what is it exactly that you want Hawks Nation, who have been down with you guys for so long, especially with there being a time that you guys were really playing so well as a team and just showed in the results all the way up until this point. What is it that you want people and Hawks fans that stuck with you through that process to remember the most about this season?
If anything, I want them to remember is that we're not done yet. I feel like this is one of the first stepping stones for us to become as successful as we want to be. We're still hungry, and I feel like we have a lot more to fight for. We love each other as a group, and as I said before, we're not done.
All right, I think that's all. Cam, John, thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all, guys.
Playoff Central Live continues after the break with player press conferences, including Bucks All-Star Chris Middleton, after securing his spot in the finals. Stay with us. Pat Connaughton added 13 and 8 for the Bucks, and he's headed to the finals as well.
Feels great. I mean, there's really not a lot of words for it. It's been our goal, obviously, I think since I got here. But the guys in that locker room and, the coaching staff, the organization, front office owners, the countless hours that we've put in together, put in individually, to have it all come to fruition, to fight through, COVID, injuries, all sorts of adversity, bumps, bruises, whatever it might be. The resiliency that this team showed, I think, kind of speaks to our character, and that's why, we've been fortunate to put ourselves in a position to compete for the NBA Finals. Have his back. I think, Giannis is a one-of-a-kind guy. We obviously all see his basketball talent, but as a human being, he's one of a kind. It's one of the reasons I wanted to stay here, want to continue to stay here and play by his side, because the things that he does, both on and off the court, the type of person he is, that's, in my opinion, one of the biggest things that we did the last two games was play for him. We know all that he gives, his body, his time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, tears. So to be out there and to kind of have his back and hold down the fort while he's coming back from injury, I think just kind of shows the character of the team, the character of the organization, and that we do have a true team.
Trae Young with a stunning postseason run. He's at the podium now.
Yes, of course. I definitely feel like this is the start. This is the beginning. Like we've accomplished so much in this year, but just the guys in the locker room, the young guys, like we all understand that this is just the beginning. And it's fun. We have the city excited, and we want to keep it this way.
What do you feel like you personally improved after this postseason?
All I wanted to prove coming into this season was that I can win. I remember Sarah asked me that before the season started, and I just remember telling her that I didn't care about no individual things, accolades, anything else. I just cared about winning, and I think hopefully people have a different mindset when they look at me in that type of light.
On that note of winning, going from starting out 14 and 20 to now battling in the Eastern Conference Finals, just what does it say about this team's, intangibles as well? Like, you spoke about the building blocks, but also that resiliency.
Just that we have the pieces. Like we got the talent. We got guys that you see we can do it, and you see the flashes that we can do it. It's hard. Like this shit is hard as hell, and it's not easy. They've been here multiple times before and haven't been able to take that next step. And I think for us, being able to go through this for a first time early, it's really good for us. I think it'll only help us.
Is it tough at all to end on the note of it doesn't seem like you're quite 100%? Is it tough? And I know you guys have battled the injury bug all year. DeAndre's been out.
Yeah.
Is it tough to end on a note where you're not full force?
Of course. Everybody in this playoffs, they don't want players hurt. And for me, not being able to be out there for my team for 2 games, and then tonight, just wanting to battle and try to fight through it as much as I could, and try to be out there for my team. It's definitely frustrating not being healthy and not being able to give my full 100%. I definitely was a little bit frustrated.
Jeff Schultz, you knew when you woke up this morning this was a potential elimination game tonight. Was anything going to keep you off the court?
Not from trying. I was going to try it eventually. It's a bruise. It's going to be pain. I still have pain. It's going to be like this for at least a couple more days, and So I knew I wasn't going to be able to feel 100%. So I was going to go out and at least try and try to do it again.
Is there any way you could express to us what you couldn't do? And I know guys don't like to use injuries as an excuse, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know me. I don't use injury as an excuse, but I mean, for me, when you're my bruise is on my heel, so like all my pushing off and off my right foot. I mean, It's not anything that could really damage it worse, but it was more pain tolerance and just fighting through the pain. So when I was running, I knew it wasn't gonna get worse, but I could feel. You know what I'm saying? You can feel pain in it, and that's all it was.
there was a point, it might have been when you came out of the game in the first quarter where you kind of slammed your hand down on the chair. Was that just frustration?
Yeah, it's just frustrating just being rusty early on. It was just me being rusty, and I was mad. I made some few of my mistakes.
Tim Bontemps? Trey, Nate said in here before that the message to you guys for the game was not have any regrets when you came off the court. And you thought that certainly applied to you, that you left everything out there. Is that how you felt when you walked off the court?
Yeah, of course. I didn't want to have any regrets after the night. Didn't want to go, not play, and then think to myself all off season if I could have been out there and played. If I could have helped my team at all in any way, it would have hurt me. So just go out and just play and at least leave it all out there on the floor. That's all we could do.
We haven't had a chance to talk to you the past couple of days. But what was it? Obviously, you've shown to be a pretty intense competitor. I imagine it's been pretty tough for you to have to sit and watch a couple of playoff games.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't want to miss any games. I don't miss regular season games. So, like my rookie year, I didn't miss any games besides the last one, and it was to get Cam Reddish. So, I don't like missing games. Period. So, Eastern Conference Finals, I didn't want to miss any game, but it's just sucks. It's just how it happened.
I think I will know what your answer is, but Nate's still technically an interim coach. Is there any reason that he should not be the coach going forward?
Nah. I mean, I don't see interim on his label here soon, so in my mind, I don't think that'll be the case that much longer.
Thanks. Sarah?
Kind of on the topic of Nate, just how much credit do you give him for helping to transform? I mean, I know it's a group effort, but how much credit do you give him to transforming this team and getting you guys pointed in the right direction and then sustaining that as well?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a group effort, but we all play a role in our success, and Nate is a big piece of our success. Just his trust in me, his belief in everybody. Competitiveness, it really rubbed off on everybody, and we were all really fighting for each other and believed in each other. And I think it all started from his messages, and you could tell it really was a trickle-down effect to everybody in the locker room. So I think when it comes to his part of our success, I think that's the big thing.
Chris?
What do you feel like this team needed to change when you took over taking it to this point?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
What do you think this team needed to change to get to this point after being took over?
I think we just needed to, I don't know, I felt like we had the talent the whole time. I felt like we had the talent from the beginning, and we just needed to find a way to put it together and really buy into each other. And I think also guys got back healthy. After we got guys healthy, we really just fought, and we just battled all season, and it turned our 14-20 season to totally different. So I think it was really, we just bought into each other, and we just kept fighting. We never gave up.
What makes you confident that this is the group that could potentially bring a title to
First of all, I always have confidence in myself, and I know the guys in this locker room we always have confidence. And I think the thing to be special with any group is we have to have confidence, and this group has that, and it's a big part of what Nate preaches. Go out there and play confident, and I think the group we have, can do that.
Following that up, Trey, just
What's the biggest thing you learned this year about what it takes to win at a high level? I mean, just you personally, the team.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I learned this year, you got to be a high seed. I mean, home court advantage is a big thing. And I think for me, understanding and going through this process now is like, all right, we got into the playoffs. Now we did a lot of things, but we kind of made it hard on ourselves. Like, let's make it a little bit easier and play in some more home games. And I think for us, that's the next step for us is, I mean, trying to build towards home court advantage.
And sorry, one last follow-up on the injury. If this was a regular season injury, how long do you think you would have sat out?
I'd have been out. I mean, depends on where we are. Depends on where we are.
Weeks?
I mean, I don't know. A lot of people didn't think I would play, but I didn't care.
All right, Jelani's going to take over with the Zoom room.
We'll start with Steve Hummer.
Yeah, Trey, as you were leaving the court, off the court, going to the locker room, you seemed to yell something up at the crowd. I think I know what you said, but my lip reading from way out high might be a little off. What did you tell them?
What did you think? I want to hear it. Oh, we get the lights back.
I thought you said we'll be back.
Yeah, you were right. You was right. Nah, I definitely believe we'll be back. I feel like we'll be back, and I meant that with my whole heart.
Zach Klein.
John was talking about the importance of getting this far with this young crew and experiencing the playoffs. Trey, is that all it is, or is there something that when you look at Milwaukee, what they have encompassed as a roster that's needed to get to that next step?
Yeah, it's this whole thing is about experience. You have to go through it to. I mean, you really have to go through this, and you see on the West, you see CP's never been to the finals in his 16 years. Like, this is hard. It's not easy, and you really have to go through it. And I think what he did and what he's been through really helped his Suns team. And I think what this team has been through with the Bucks, they've been through it. They've been to this point a couple times. So I know that feeling. They didn't want to go home again. And I think for us, we got that same feeling now, and it's the same thing.
Final question on Zoom will come from Maria Martin.
Right now that you've gotten the experience of the playoffs, do you feel more confident now that you've taken this step in the future of this franchise?
Definitely. I mean, like I just said, when you go through experience and we've been through it and we've succeeded at a high level in these playoffs, and I think with that we can only build off that. And it's been a special year, and I'm excited about what's to come.
Thank you, Trey.
To advance to the finals, he's addressing the media now.
Man, I don't know. This is the first time I've been in this position. Man, I've been so blessed over the last couple years with everything going on to be able to land in a spot like this to fulfill my dream. So God's blessed me and put me in the position just to go to the finals. So I'm still trying to let it. It's still sinking in, and I'm trying to come down. But it's I don't know, man. Words can't really describe it right now. I think they were being aggressive and staying consistent. We went up early, we went up big, but they stayed consistent. They stayed with their game plan and kind of really got back into it. But our bench and everybody did a great job of keeping our composure. Man, me and Chris were turning that thing over, weren't we? But yeah, but at the end of the day, Chris carried us. Chris carried us there for a lot of it, just leaving his heart out there. It's kind of like if we're going to go down, we're going to go down in his shoulder. So I'm riding with him, riding right into the finals. Just I mean, a professional and a basketball player. I feel like we got to make adjustments and make adjustments in Game 6, and that's what we did. The turnovers in this game are crucial, and you feel it more than in any other game. So, but the hardest game to win is the closeout game. But I think being able to make adjustments like that and get the win was great. Man, it's a story that I get to tell my kids. It's a story that I get to tell people, and that's one of the coolest things. Playing against the Heat and what we did against them, and then coming back against Brooklyn, one of the most talented teams in the league or ever, honestly, against one of the best, top 3 of the greatest scorers of our game. And then, man, a great Atlanta team, young team, but they have some crucial players. Lou Will, to me, is their X factor. If he's on and playing well, they're hard to beat. They're a tough team, but I'm glad to see everything they've done, man. This is just really exciting for me. Like I don't really necessarily feel bad for him, but I'm really happy. It feels awesome. Again, I'm still kind of on this high, but man, I'm going to the finals. It's just cool to think again as a little kid, man. This is what you watch the playoffs for. This is like all the moments that like I felt as a little kid watching TV. I lived them, man, and went through them, and now I get to go to the finals and see what this is about. So, again, man, I'm just like I'm ecstatic. Thank you. Tough team. They play hard. They play together. They play fast. Have a lot of talent at every position. They guard the ball very well. They guard the 3 pretty well too. So definitely a team that I feel like is similar to us at every position. Very, very talented, and somebody could just go out for a great game. So and I got that boy Book over there. So it's gonna be fun. Honestly, I think we'll take it a day at a time. We'll go look at the film and try to lock in. We'll try to lock into our matchups, see where we can take advantage, and from there, knowing Giannis, he'll probably be back at some point in the series. But we really just got to prepare like this is it, and this really is it. This is the last 7 games, so we got to try to go out there and prepare the best way we can. I guess I'll start with your second question. It wasn't any effort from us. It was all Giannis. This is probably the most I've seen Giannis talk the whole game. I know usually when he's on the court and he's racing through 5 people and blocking shots. You're tired. He's tired and he's playing, but man, he's motivating everybody. He's motivating me, telling me to push the pace, keep on being aggressive. He's telling me to lock people up. I feel like what he brought to the game today, how he leads us, and again, he is pretty quiet, but how talkative he's been has been awesome for us and very, very encouraging.
I got a bit ahead of myself, but here's Chris now.
Just keep playing. Sometimes it's gonna go your way, sometimes it's not, but as long as I stay the course, that's all I can be in control of. Whether I can't control the ball go in, some turnovers I can't control, some of them I can't. But just stay with it, just play my game, and don't worry about too much else. I don't even know, honestly. I mean, it's been, a long journey, but it's been a great journey. It's been worth it. We put ourselves in position to win the NBA Finals. After winning 15 games in our first year here, to some years not making the playoffs, to 3 years, the last 2 years thinking we had a chance and we just didn't do enough. And now we're here. This is what we worked for, and we're just, I'm, extremely happy that we're still playing.
You talk a lot about how you go, all of those things. Is that a skill that you had to work on as much as the work in coaching, all those things over these last 8 years to kind of stay in that?
For sure. I think another key thing that, I always hear, especially from my dad, is have a short memory. Whether good or bad, stay the course. It's a long game, it's a long season. I have a lot of ups and downs. Just stay the course and have a short memory.
Way back in December, you guys talked about different counter punches and what opponents give you regular season. What have you seen from Bud and the coaching staff in this playoff in terms of giving you a different rotation dollars and
Just doing whatever it takes, but then also trusting us out there. We have an idea about what we want to do. We have to play that we want to run. You trust us. And that's all you want in the coach. Especially the players that are out there, they see it a little bit different. They feel a little bit different. When we come up with suggestions, he listens to us and he trusts us with it. The last part? Yeah. No, I definitely wish, he was out there with us, but, he's still here with us. On the bench cheering us on, talking to us during the game. He's still a part of it, whether he's playing or not. Hopefully we get him back out there soon. But, I think, he still appreciates it all. I'm sure he thinks or wishes he was out there playing, but it still means everything to him, the same amount that, we still, got a chance to play for an NBA Final. It's all worth it, for sure. Every kid wants to win the NBA championship. Every kid wants to play in the NBA Finals. Of course, it's not going to be easy. You're going to fail a lot. But when you stay with it, it makes it all worth it, for sure. Motivation, but I think that's for everybody that loses. I'm sure Atlanta will have a hell of a year, hell of a postseason run. It's going to motivate them for the future to come, too, just like it has. Just stay in the moment. Don't think about the situation. Don't think about what game it is. Just to take it possession by possession. That's all I can do is stay in the moment.
That's kind of the triangle. Like, you guys are at the practice to start this all. Like, what is it like to have all the different Indians by your side?
It's cool. For one, it's hard to put everything into words to the journey that we've been on, the ups and downs, the struggles and whatnot. But like I said, to still be competing, to be the last two teams standing, it's a great feeling.
Eric, over you on Zoom.
Mark Schwartz. Chris, congratulations on another great game.
Thank you.
Drew said something about you just now that I thought was really interesting. And in the midst of complimenting you about all the things you did, scoring 16 straight points and 23 and a quarter, he said, Chris doesn't care. How would you explain that part of it, allowing you to put those kind of shots up under that kind of pressure in this kind of game?
Just want to win. That's all it is. I don't care how many points I have. Stats go out the window. And I had a great third quarter. Told Drew I was struggling. I just want to win, bro. You got to get the ball and make something happen. Because right now I just don't have it. If you hit me, I'm going to be ready. But that's what it's all about. Everybody on this team is so selfish. Everybody, we don't care about, who has the ball, who scores, who does this and that. We just want to do whatever it takes to win, and that's all you want.
When I tell you that you had the third most points in a quarter in a postseason game in 25 years, and the other two are Iverson and Dame Lillard, what does it mean to you?
It's a cool stat. I guess I would say it only means something if you win. So, whatever it takes to win, that's it.
Thank you, Chris.
Said he lent his voice to the game of basketball. How do you quantify what he's meant?
Everything. I remember growing up as a kid and turning on NBA basketball, and it was Marv. And throughout my life, it's always been him. So when I think of basketball, especially a telecast, I think of Marv Albers.
I feel the same way, like just growing up and, not having cable, so I had to watch the NBA games on NBC and just watching Marv on those Sundays and, just his catchphrases and the way he would do things.
That voice, man.
Yeah, that voice. That he probably at that time never knew he would have the impact that he had on the game of basketball on people's lives, because when I think of some of the top basketball moments I've ever watched, Marv Albert is attached to it.
Oh, without a doubt. I grew up admiring his voice and then got to work alongside him. And then he sends a gift to my son as I become a mother. I just, to go for so long admiring him as a broadcaster, but then to have the opportunity to call him a friend is a gift in every way.
He is. Great man, great career. I don't know if he will be replaced, but he'll never Marv. Never.
Somebody else will sit in his seat, but it won't be the same.
Won't be the same.
Without a doubt. Well done, Marv. Well done. Well, let's look ahead to the finals, shall we?
Let's do it.
The Bucks
Yes.
have booked their ticket to take on the Suns. I mean, these are teams that we haven't seen there in decades. Many decades. So, Coach, your initial thoughts as you look at this matchup?
Refreshing, weird, not having a guy named LeBron James or Kevin Durant or Steph Curry, some of the notable guys that we're used to seeing, but excited to see this Milwaukee team with Giannis. Hopefully he's healthy. And this Phoenix team with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and Monty Williams and that crew, I think it's going to be an exciting series. I can't wait for it to start. And if you're going to hold my feet to the fire today, man, I'm going with the home team, Phoenix, man.
I think it's going to be a very exciting series as well. I can't wait to see Chris Paul on this stage. He's waited his
against
whole
Drew Holiday. That's going to be special.
I know it is, and he's waited his whole life for this moment. Chris Paul's put a lot of time in this league, and it seems like this is just his year. So I think it's going to be a great finals. But I'm with you, Coach. I think I'm going with the Phoenix Suns. I think in this series, I like the way that Booker and Paul can close out basketball games. And they also are the healthier team.
Yeah,
and in this year's playoffs, health is wealth. And the healthier team might just win it.
Every team that's advanced have beaten somebody that some key players right. When you look at Milwaukee run, hey, man, they got a gift to not just they almost lost with just Kevin Durant. Think if Harden and Kyrie Irving would have been healthy.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. A lot of times once we reach this point in the postseason, we look back at regular season matchups and it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. But it is kind of fun to look back at this one because they only played twice and each game was decided by one. The Suns won both. Giannis with the opportunity for the game winner there back in February, and then in April with Devin Booker. Foul, and headed to the free throw line.
Yeah.
So how much stock do you put in these matchups?
0.
Okay,
No.
still 0.
Put
All right,
0.
so well then, okay, it was at least fun to look back, right?
It's fun.
The thing for me, Brendan, is the matchup for me is going to be, I think DeAndre Ayton is the best matchup for Giannis if he's out there healthy. He's athletic. He's built like Giannis. The question is, if you put Ayton on Giannis, who's going to guard Lopez?
Exactly.
And that's the thing, because somebody's going to have an advantage. Crowder's going to have to either guard Giannis or Brook Lopez. So it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Bud uses Brook Lopez if a smaller guy's
I'm
in.
looking at what Coach Bud is going to do on defense using Brook Lopez, because we know we're going to get a heavy dose of Chris Paul in the screen and roll.
Oh, yeah.
And if you give him drop coverage,
he won't be dropping. You see Brook in the last 2 games against Trey? He was up. Brook Lopez would be up.
Oh, I'm just saying, if they go to the drop coverage like they did a lot in this playoff,
it's going to be over.
Chris Paul will exploit it because he's one of the best in the mid-range.
The best.
And he has the incredible vision. So it's going to be.
I don't think they can do that with Chris Paul.
I don't think they'll do that either. But I think it's going to be a very good series.
If they do that, the series won't go past 6.
Well, we'll find out in a couple days, because the finals have now moved up, because the conference finals ended as early as they did, and because this one ended in 6. Game 1 is what, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Got like
9 o'clock? 9 East Coast time?
Yeah. What, less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Milwaukee,
no, it's today's set.
What is that?
That's 48 hours.
72.
Baby on your brain.
Don't try. It's too late for math. It's too late for math. It's way too late for math.
With that, we're going to go ahead and
Wrap it up.
It's getting late, baby. We start counting past 5.
We'll see you
You see Kristen try to carry the one. She was like,
we'll
okay.
see you indefinitely.